Hi and welcome to this week's market update, where we're going to be doing a review of what we talked about last week. Very importantly, did we make money or not? But more importantly, how you can take advantage of three major trends. For example, what is happening right now with the vaccines, and which of the vaccines companies, is it Pfizer, is it Moderna, is it Regeneron, that you can take advantage of? Also, 5G. If you haven't heard about 5G, you must have been asleep. Companies are making an absolute fortune in 5G, so we're going to have a look at two of those. And of course, cryptocurrency, because between last week and this week, Bitcoin went up to 19,500, then went down by more than enough for you to be able to get a great position, and now looks like it's about to go above its all-time high of 20,000. And if it does, all bets are off, because the sky is the limit. That and much, much more from myself, Marcus de Maria, and my head trader, Dennis Sahlström. So let's get started. Okay, so let's have a look at what has happened since last week. Dennis, take us through the charts.
Absolutely. So the first one we're looking at is Alibaba.
Ah, yes, because of Christmas coming up, of course. Alibaba, great, like Amazon and these kind of companies, they're probably going to do quite well. So we were looking for it to pull back. It was a little bit high. What happened, Dennis?
So it did actually pull back. So now from the high, it's down 17%. So we need to get down a little bit more, but then we are ready to go in.
Yeah, so it went up, came back down. We just need it to come down a little bit more. So we can wait for that. What's next?
So what's next is ARCT.
So we were looking to sell short because we have a lot of resistance there at 1% below this mark here. Let's see what happened. And boom, we got in, and boom, we lost 1% of our entire portfolio. Looking to make, because the stop loss is here, so this is the 1%, looking to make 1, 2, at least 3. That's the way it goes. Very important that we celebrate those, well, I was going to say successes, see, that's how I'm wired. Yeah. To celebrate those losses, because every time there's a loss, we know that there's a big gain coming. So, but that one, definitely a loss on there, 1%.
Yeah, and then we also looked at some cryptos. So XRP, which is one of the bigger coins out there, the one we're working together with banks. So that went up 122% in just a couple of days.
And remember that with Bitcoin having gone up so much, we were really looking at some of the other altcoins to really go up. And XRP really did go up to 80 cents, came all the way back down, but we just needed it to come down a little bit more. And what happened?
So what happened was it did actually go down. It went up to 80 cents, down to 45, right? That's a big drop if you're looking from the high. So we always say don't get in at the high, always wait for a pullback before getting in. That
would have been a really good entry point to accumulate there, which I'm sure some people did, so they're doing really well. We're looking for that to go a little bit higher now. Is now a time to get in? Well, let's have a look at that in our crypto section a little bit later on.
And next up is Regeneron, which
this is the cocktail, of course, that antivirus cocktail that Donald Trump, who's on his way out now, it won't be so much fun, the world won't be so much fun with his ridiculous tweets, but well, he'll carry on tweeting, no doubt. So what we were looking to get in because it was at minus 20.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look.
And what happened was it went down a little bit more, so now we're down around 22%.
So we're in a little loss here of 2%. Hopefully it comes back down again so that we buy some more to lower our average price, or it goes up, in which case we have our profits a little bit earlier. Let's see what happens there. It's really interesting because we have got a section on that coming up as well. And actually, Regeneron is not part of that. We're going to be talking about Moderna and Pfizer a little bit more. Okay, what's next?
Next up is Towner Bank.
So this is a short wheel, right? We saw this a little bit late, so we're looking to get in at 1% below this mark here. We've got a nice risk-reward ratio. What happened?
It continued up instead.
Oh, it didn't come down. Well, actually, that's good because it went up after that.
Yeah,
so I think we are not going to... Are we going to sell short if it goes below this?
No, I think I'm leaving this for now.
I think so.
Broken the pattern. And one thing just to iterate here is really to have a stop order to make sure it goes in our direction before we enter. Very, very important.
Very, very important.
So last one up is Zoom. We looked at that. We looked at it for a couple of weeks now. It fell down 20%, came down even more. So we got in again.
Yeah, but with more money, so therefore, according to the rules, instead of the average price being in the middle, it's going to be slightly below there. So let's see. Oh, and we were already a little bit in profit at that point.
Yeah, okay, a little bit. And then if we got in, now we should be up quite a bit on this. So around 10% in profit, I would say.
10% in a couple of weeks, not bad. I think that's a good trade. And so raising the stop loss now is the order of the day. and letting the rest run, because in the short term it's an upward trend. So don't make the mistake that most people make, which is to take your profits. What we're going to do is we're going to put a stop loss in for the very, very first time, because we didn't have one before, because we're investing. And so now we're going to put one in, and hopefully it'll go up again for another 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5% gains. That's how to invest your money. We call it active investing. Very, very important. So that was a good trade. All right, what else do we have?
That is it for the recap.
That is it. So let's see what we're going to cover today. All right, well, we are looking this week at vaccines again, because of course Pfizer has come out with their one, which they're saying is extremely effective, Moderna as well, and some others as well. So if we have a quick look at those charts here, Pfizer, interestingly enough, we were looking to get in, but wanted it just to drop a little bit more, Dennis?
Yes, absolutely. And what happened was it's gone up a little bit since then. So we're waiting patiently for an entry point
or
in Pfizer.
Impatiently, but we are waiting.
Yeah,
for an entry point. Even at minus 10%, normally we would get in a little bit at minus 20%, but here, because it's so bullish news, if you think about the millions of vaccines that are going to be bought now, the only challenge here, Dennis, is that they need to store it at minus 70 degrees. That's going to be really difficult for people to actually store, whereas Moderna's one is just normal room, no, I don't know whether it's room temperature, but it's not at minus 70, right? So it doesn't need extra storage. So that one, I don't know, Pfizer's a great company, but my bet would be on Moderna. Let's have a look at...
Yeah, absolutely, and we are seeing since then Moderna has really been going up since they announced that they had the vaccine and everything. So
yeah, that's more than 70% already. Now would not be the time to get in, but you know they're going to sell a lot of these, so I do envisage it's getting higher. But we always get in on a pullback. Don't get in on it jumping like that. You're likely to buy right at the top. But that's a shame. I think we could have acted a little bit earlier there, Dennis. Really, as soon as we heard the news. Yeah,
absolutely. But you win some, you lose some. But we don't want to chase the trade. We don't want to get in now just because we missed it, because there will always be more opportunities that we can have a look at.
Well, there is another opportunity, not necessarily to do with this, but just generally in the market. CPRT we were looking at, but maybe you want to have a look at the sentiment of the market first, Dennis?
Yeah, we can have a look at the sentiment of the market, because one thing we are looking at is the market is getting very, very bullish, and because of that, gold has been going down. We do like gold and silver, and that is really good as a hedge. So a lot of people are investing at the high of the markets. Yeah, they could go up a little bit more, absolutely. But we really like to, so you see here that it's 47% are bullish on the market, even though we read some news that I think it is Debenham is going to cut a lot of employees.
Debenham's going to lose 12,000 potential employees. 12,000 are going to go into the labour market. That is bad news, and bad for their Christmas as well.
Yeah,
I can't actually believe that it is going to happen right now, when if you think about it, if the lockdown goes, which it should do, then everyone's going to go out and buy, which would have given them a big boost.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know what's going to happen, but we would just, be a bit careful when like Warren Buffett says, right? When everyone's greedy, be fearful. When everybody's fearful, be greedy. So may wait for a pullback, but we're also looking at gold. So Barrick's Gold is the gold company that Warren Buffett actually bought into, funnily enough, as well, a while back. And since we spoke about this from the 10th of November, but since we spoke about this, it's actually come down quite a bit more. So now it's down 26%.
And we're down on our positions as well, which is why we're looking to get in again at this mark. If you think about it, 26%, and that's probably from this mark here, right? Or is it from this mark?
It is from this mark to the left, from the high.
Oh, from the high. So it's from this on here. So just think about it, almost 30%. That is quite a drop. So we're looking to get in again and to lower our average. And it's a great company, good fundamentals, and so we're looking to that in order to hedge. Now we do have a long as well. We have CPRT. Should we have a quick look at that?
Yeah, let's absolutely do that. So this is CPRT.
Okay.
So this is what they say is that, well, now if we're coming out of a lockdown, a lot of the companies that benefited from the lockdown might actually eventually come down as well. So we're going to look at a short position as well. But this is one of those that might benefit from coming out of the lockdown. So we're looking at a bigger upward trend, and it's at the support line. We have a good risk-reward ratio. So it's Copart Inc. is the company here.
And this one is trading, so we're going to have a stop loss, okay? So it's not investing like Barrick Gold, for example. This one is a trade, so we're going to have a stop loss, nice and tight here. This is our, well, it says so here, right? So here's our risk to our reward ratio. Very nice.
Very nice. And then the last one I want to have a look at here is ARCE. This is one, they're working with the cloud storage. And if we're getting out of lockdown, I still think they will do really well over the years, but the fundamentals are not very good. They have a negative income, for example. So we look at these fundamentals that might make the stock go down in value. So it's at the downward trending resistance, and we have a good risk reward ratio. I would like to see a red candle today to kind of see so sellers are coming back.
It would be nice to also see it a little bit tighter here. So instead of getting in at 1% below there, to maybe have, as you say, a red candle around here, and then maybe move our entry point up. Remember, we're always going in with a stop order to get us in. Always allow the price to get you into that direction. So I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next week on those, Dennis.
Absolutely.
All right. Next. All right, let's have a quick look at this phenomenon called 5G, which, of course, I don't know whether you've heard of it, but everybody is getting ready with the much needed improvement in speed. That's what we need. We need more speed on the internet. And a whole raft of new technologies are going to take advantage of this, like the Internet of Things, for example, artificial intelligence, a lot of things like that. So the infrastructure is being built. Some people are really up in arms about it and actually burning the posts that they're putting up. Even in the pandemic, they were still putting up. So it's kind of weird, why they're doing that. But we do need 5G if we want to advance the technology.
Absolutely.
So that being the case, you say absolutely, but apparently it's very bad for us.
Yeah, and I hear they even look at 6G already to develop that. Yeah. So the technology is coming. I think so. So yeah, we'll see, I guess. But even though it might be bad for us, we have some stocks we are looking at that are doing really well. So some are absolutely benefiting from this 5G. And there are some news about Ericsson as well.
You want to look at Ericsson? Okay, so Ericsson has something like 220 million subscribers already for its 5G, and that's before it's even being rolled out. So it looks like people want this, and obviously there are other charts we could look at in the future as well, or the other telephone companies. But let's have a look at Ericsson. Has been doing extremely well. It's on a tear. But we do need it to come down. Remember, peeps, we don't want to get in right at the high. We do need it to come down before we get in. It's just one of those things. And if you say, well, yeah, but what if it doesn't come down? It's just one of those things. You either have rules or you don't. If you're extremely bullish on this, you've done your research on this, you think it's going to be a big winner, then yes, you can massage the strategy maybe to get in at maybe 15%. And if you're really aggressive, at minus 10. But then you've got to kind of change your money investment as well.
Yeah, and Ericsson, what's interesting with them is that they actually they just got contracts with the 3 biggest 5G operators in China as well. So there might be a big one. You just want to have in your watch list for now and wait for a drop.
That is bullish news, I must say. Qualcomm is a company that is going to always be taking advantage of these kind of things because it's in that industry. And if you look at it from the kind of collapse here, I mean, you could call this, in March, it's gone up almost 300% since that time. So it's going to be a big winner in 5G. And so again, it's so high. We need it to come down by 20%. And look, it does do that now and again. I mean, the best way to do it, this was a crash, right? So you can't include that. But if you just look at normal pullbacks as here, like here, like here, and like here, just have a look back. And if it's on average around, let's say, 13% on average, or whatever it is, 12%, then massage it to this, massage that strategy and get in at minus 12%, and then keep getting in. You've got to have a strategy for that, so make sure you do your research on that. So let's see what happens in the next few weeks. We're going to be looking a lot more at 5G coming up because we think it has a lot of potential to make money and to profit you and your family. So more on that in the next couple of weeks. All right, next. Okay, so let's have a look at the most exciting part of today, which is, of course, cryptos. If you think about what is happening in Bitcoin, look at this. Back in 2017, it went from $1,000 to $20,000 in just 1 year. Much too fast, much too high, and then, of course, we had the correction. bear market, then a buffalo market, and now it looks like we might be in a bull market. We can't just, I mean, I think we are, but you think it's going to go back down to 6,000, so which is down here. Whoa. If it does, look at this. It actually reached. This is from this is from last week. So it actually reached 19,500 and went all the way back down. And look where it is now. Let's have a look. Yeah. So here is where it was. And it went all the way back down, more than -20. This would have been an amazing. Everybody was scared and too scared to do it, but it would have been an amazing entry point at -20 for you to get in. And now it has shot back up, and this is right now we are at 19,824. If it closes above 20,000, I think all bets are off. I think everybody's going to start jumping in. If you look at this, for example, Guggenheim, which is it's actually, you know, Guggenheim, the
Museum,
arts people, museums, etc. So the arts world, and they have a lot of money. They're putting 10% of everything they have into Bitcoin via Grayscale Fund, and Grayscale has been saying that institutions are absolutely pouring in right now as they see new all-time highs. By the way, once you get above all-time high, that would be an all-time high, 20,000. If it goes above that, then everybody is going to jump in. That's what the institutions are waiting for. So, you know, I know we always think about pullbacks and getting in. That happened, but now if it goes above 20,000, now you're thinking more on a weekly basis than a daily basis?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking at a couple of things here. So one thing I want to mention with the Guggenheim, if they put in 10%, there are billions of dollars in their fund. If they're putting in 10%, well, other funds will probably do that as well, which I think is smart, right? Because the stock market is not going to go up forever. They already maybe have gold, and crypto is a recognized asset now as well. However, one thing I would say, a lot of people, what they did last time in 2019 when we had the bull market, around the 20,000 mark, people even mortgages their house in order for them to invest all their savings into cryptos and Bitcoin. So even though all this might be off and it goes way above 20,000, and we just don't know what's going to happen. No one knows, right? So it might go up, it might go down. So I think the point here is, if you're getting in, start to get in, right? There's always going to be more opportunities. There will be more pullbacks. So just make sure you are careful. Don't invest everything at once. Scale in a little bit. You could even do dollar cost averaging. We think it's a bit lazy, but if you put in a little bit every month, you're going to get a good average price. If it's high, if it's low, if it's high, if it's low, but you will catch all of it at least, instead of just putting everything in at once.
So what do you think the strategy should be then? Like, one strategy should be, if it closes above 20,000, that is such a round number, everybody is going to jump in. There are no ceilings after that, so therefore the sky literally is the limit. Is it going to be 30,000, 40,000, maybe even 50,000 in this next push up? By the way, it won't just go straight up. It will always have little pullbacks and entry points for you, so always wait for that pullback before you get in. But if it reaches above that 20,000, no. Should people get into Bitcoin? Or the other strategy would be, if Bitcoin goes up and makes it, say, 100%, I know that sounds like a lot, but the other altcoins are going to go on an absolute tear, and they're going to go up much, much more percentage-wise than Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, let's say 100 or 200%, some of the other coins are going to be going up 1,000% or so, 500% or so. And let's not forget what happened in May, Dennis.
What happened in May? In May?
Yeah, happens every 4 years.
Oh, the halving. Yeah, okay, that's what you mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
right?
exactly.
So there's that as well. The halvening happens, which means the miners are actually paid half of what they were paid every 4 years. It halves. Brilliant, because that means that there's less what? There's less supply of Bitcoin in the market. And as people are waking up to this, they are going to be wanting to get in, and there just aren't that many out there. There aren't that many out there. At the moment, PayPal, that made the announcement that they are now going to allow the whole of the US to actually buy and store their Bitcoin. They're gobbling up all the Bitcoin that is coming out. The other people are doing this grayscale, the fund. There is literally no, and Dennis and I are buying as well, so there's none left for you, which means what happens?
Yeah, the price gets up. So what they saw was mining. You probably heard of it. So every day new Bitcoins comes out in circulation, less and less because of the halving. But since the beginning of the year, there's more demand than new coins coming out, which which means more demand and less supply comes out, and then if everything gets bought up, the price is going to go up as well. However, there will be opportunities. We have a lot of altcoins. We're looking at Ethereum, for example, as well.
Yes.
So if we take a look at Ethereum here, we can see that Ethereum is around $600. We looked at this the 24th of November.
Yeah.
And if we jump to where it is now, it actually around the same level here. Let's see. Yes, this is it, right? So it actually went down 20%. So when Bitcoin dropped, it dropped down 20%.
Oh, you're looking at a weekly now.
Yeah, we're looking at
so
the weekly.
The other one was a daily. So therefore it went down. Okay, 20%. Great entry point there. And then now went up, and it's over 600 now. And again, this is very, very bullish as well. Another reason it's bullish, by the way, because they're just about to, within days, no?
Yeah, the third.
Yeah, so they're actually going to, and let's see whether they do it or not, they're going to announce and launch the upgrade of Ethereum 2.0. That's very exciting because now they're going to move away from proof of work, all those computers running around doing those mathematical equations and algorithms to prove that they've done the work, electricity, computer power, etc., to proof of stake, which means you can start staking. You're going to get up to 8% a year just for holding Ethereum. Dennis, imagine the hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people around the world that can't get any kind of return in the bank, and they say, well, hold on, Ethereum, I can get 8% a year. Why don't I just move 5% or 10% into Ethereum? It's absolutely huge for Ethereum. Let's not forget, that's where all the applications, or a lot of applications, are put as well, especially decentralized finance, DeFi as well.
Absolutely. And what's interesting with Ethereum, I know that a lot of it's one of the biggest ones, because we've been speaking about that before. You can actually get dividend or get paid with smaller coins, but Ethereum is the second biggest, so it's a lot safer than the other ones.
Right.
So that is very important as well. And one last thing I would like to mention here, if we take a look at this Bitcoin, this is the futures chart, just to highlight this for you. So what happens is Bitcoin is open 24 hours a day. However, the futures is part of the stock market, and that is closed during the weekend. So we get a big hole if, let's say, on Friday it closes, but the Bitcoin market moves up during the weekend. Then on Monday, when the futures market opens again, there's going to be a little bit of a hole, like gap in the market. Now, over 90% of the times, these gaps gets filled. So that is just one thing I want to put out there to you, and that if that gets filled, we might see Bitcoin revisit maybe 16,000 or 17,000, maybe before it goes up, or maybe it goes up a bit more and then down a little bit. So just be sure that you can average in if the price goes down and this plays out.
And by the way, just in case you're thinking, well, hold on, this is days ago, this is 4 hours, this is the 4-hour chart, right? So this is like 1 day, 2 days. So basic, or actually this might just be since the weekend. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this is Monday and Tuesday we're seeing after. Yeah.
I keep forgetting it's Tuesday. Yeah. So definitely. But we will see whether it fills that gap or not.
Yeah, and one thing just to say then, the action for you guys could be today, should you get into Bitcoin, maybe if it breaks 20,000, you can get in. I would maybe get in with a stop loss then to make sure it just spikes up and then spikes down again. But as long as you just can get in again, that's good. However, a lot of the altcoins are still down 80 or 90% from the high in 2017. So I think that's where, like Marcus said, those are going to go up thousands of percent when the next bull market commences. So we just need to be patient. You have not missed the boat. There will be more opportunities. Start doing your research. Start getting into maybe some of the bigger coins that have very, very high potential as well.
Absolutely. All right, fantastic. I hope you enjoyed today's market update. Specifically though, please do comment below which one of the 3 vaccines companies do you think is going to win. But more importantly, are you in cryptos? And are you going to be getting into Bitcoin as it breaks that 20,000, if it breaks that 20,000? Or is that the signal to get into the altcoins that haven't moved so much if we're in a bull market? Is going to be amazing. Do you think we are at the start of a bull market, or are we going to have a retest? If you like this video, please do make sure that you do hit that like button. I thank you so much in advance. And more importantly, hit the subscribe button now to make sure that you get these weekly updates where we're going to be sharing things that you can invest in so you and your family can profit from that. So go ahead and subscribe now, and I'll see you next week.